Hello, everyone. Welcome to Saaj Cars Tech. I have Adarsh here. How's it going, Adarsh?
Doing good. How are you?
Good. And I got Rishi here. Hi, Rishi.
Hey Saaj, hey Adarsh,
How's it going?
doing all right?
All right. So, listeners, Rishi is new to the podcast here. He's a friend of ours back in Canada. And I'm going to quickly start and talk about the topic of the day, Tesla, now and future. And quick thing, I want to talk about Tesla. Tesla has come a really long way from when it started. Originally, Tesla came out with the Roadster, but that's not what they're known for. Not the new Roadster. There's an original Roadster. It was full electric vehicle. They partnered up with the Lotus to make that vehicle, and they really came into the spotlight when they came out with the Model S. And now Tesla has been the talking company in the town when it comes to not like finance, when it comes to future company. I mean, Elon Musk is currently the richest guy in the world in terms of net worth. What do you guys think? Others, what do you think?
I remember when on Instagram when there was a post of Elon Musk and he was like about 23 something billion away from becoming the richest man on earth, and then I remember you messaging me and you were like, "Yo, he's the richest man on earth." I'm like, "Wow." And this was in a matter of like couple of days. So just hearing that, I mean, he's done pretty good for himself.
Mm-hmm. Rishi, what are your thoughts on Tesla?
Well, I mean, this is a story that started not say 2003 when the first car came out, but actually 2017 when Elon Musk decided to go to China. One, he couldn't fulfill all the amount of orders that he had promised, and in the stock market, more than the actual company and the product, loyalty is valued. So when he went to China and decided to mass produce vehicles there, and he fulfilled that promise, that's when Elon Musk himself became a brand and Tesla's prices went up. So I believe Tesla, more than the vehicle, it's his loyalty.
Definitely. And speaking of loyalty, they have a pretty little fan base. I see some of these videos on TikTok and on other, streaming like Instagram and YouTube, where there's these guys that like there's this guy that all he talks about is his Tesla Model X. That's all he talks about. He's like, oh, the three hidden features on my Tesla Model X, and they're not really hidden features. They're like put there. Some of them are like Easter eggs. And then there's people that I know there when I where I used to work. There used to be another company next door that had husband and wife that had Teslas, and that's all they drove. And for me, it's like when you have two electric vehicles. For like my family, we've always thought you have to have one vehicle that you can fit everyone in, like the whole family, like seven people, and that car, is your also your travel car, if you go on long trips. So that's why we have a minivan. And Tesla doesn't have a minivan, but they have, the Model S, the Model 3, the Model X, the Model Y, and they literally fit a big chunk of what the market needs are.
Absolutely.
What what is Rishi? What is your favorite Tesla?
Out of all of them, I believe that for my age group and needs, I think the Y is my favorite. Not only because it fits seven people, but it's not huge. It's like a little bit bigger than the Q5 in the Audi world, but it fits that many people. It's in terms of expenses, it's under 100. And nowadays, if you consider the brand new electric companies that are coming out, say Lucid, they're starting at 100, where the third best car with Elon Musk is at 100. So price, mileage versus its looks and compatibility, I think Y is going to win on my charts here.
What about you, others?
I'd have to agree with Rishi. we have a little group amongst ourselves, and we kind of revolve around the Tesla Y model, and for all the right reasons he just mentioned, and for the age group, I completely agree with what he just said.
Okay. So for me, it has to be the Tesla Model S, just because that's kind of where I saw Tesla the most. I've seen Teslas in documentaries back when they only had a Roadster. And then once they came out with the Model S, I was actually just surprised that a sedan had two little child seats in the trunk. Have you seen that?
No.
No, I'll show you that. Have you seen that, Rishi?
Oh, yeah, I've seen the video.
Yeah, so they have these little two seats that you could put in the back. And it was just I feel like that it was a big milestone where you bring out this electric car at a mass market where people are fully committing themselves to a brand new company that has never really mass made a car. And I mean, originally the everyone has these things about the quality. Some people complain about it, some people are saying it's all right. I think, over time it gets better. Some people complain about the plastic and everything, but the innovations that Tesla has brought to the market, it's just a bit different. It's the whole self-driving thing. Out of all these other manufacturers, you got Toyota, you got Ford, you got Honda, you got the Volkswagen Group, and they don't have these innovations as sooner than what Tesla has. Tesla came out with a bunch of things. Like Tesla came out with this big screen. What car had a giant screen before Tesla? Nothing really. Once Tesla came out with this big screen, now even look at the Ford Mach-E. Now look how how late is Ford Mach-E, the Mustang Mach-E? Remember we talked about that during the upcoming cars podcast, and that one has a giant screen too.
Yep.
But how long has Tesla been on the market compared to the Ford Mach-E? It's just been there. It's taking a while for these other companies to come out with different innovations and catch up with Tesla trying to become. Tesla had the biggest thing that they had was they were the niche. They had the electric vehicle and not I mean, if you ignore these one-offs that these other car companies come out with, they didn't really have much. You didn't really see those sell their counterpart gas engine vehicles were the main sellers. Like Toyota RAV4, there was an electric one, but you don't see those on the road. You see the gas engine ones, you see the hybrid ones, right? But I want to talk about again, about the Model S, right? The Model S has been out for 9 years now, right? Almost a decade, and they've done very little to change it. The overall shape is similar to what it's always been. They've done many facelifts throughout the time, right? But there hasn't been much of a hint of what the next generation Model S is going to be. Usually car companies, they stick with between 6, 7 years, maybe 8 the most, before changing gears and providing a brand new model. But Tesla hasn't done that. I mean, unless it's really secretive. What do you guys think the next Model S is going to be looking like? Others?
So for the Model S, like you mentioned, very few changes, few facelifts here and there. I mean, I like the way it looks, but I guess they're going with the motto: if it's working, why fix it?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So maybe they're just following that model until there is a big push towards changes. Maybe they're just squeezing it out. Maybe it's working for them. That's what I think.
Yeah. What about you, Rishi?
Well, I agree with what you guys are discussing because what sells more than function is aesthetics. And to make him get more customers on the wheel, he may not have to change the interior foundation of the car, but it'd be easier for him to change what it looks like or features or, a little bling on it. And it sells more, and he doesn't have to do as much variation in his factories. So I agree. The machinery may not have changed as much as we'd like it to, say by increasing the longevity of the battery. But it looks better, so people like it.
I agree. The only thing that I would add is that usually, most of these car companies, yeah, they might stick to the similar platform, but they usually, when they come out with the vehicle, it's like full on brand new, for a new model. And if they do come out with a replacement for the Model S, are they gonna call it the Model S? Are they gonna change it? There are companies like Dodge, Chrysler, Ford, well, not Ford, but Chevy, they've been through a bunch of names, right? You had the Dodge Dart, and then the previous generation from the Dodge Dart wasn't the Dodge Dart. When they came out with the new one, gave it a brand new name, right? Obviously that's because they want to try out a new name. They want to see if that's successful. Model S has a pretty good reputation, so I would see that being successful, even if they came out with a new car. It's just I like you said, it's right now it ain't broke. Why fix it? And probably once they start seeing more competition, that's when they probably might do that. It's one of those vehicles that still is a niche. It's really other car companies are still trying to go against Tesla. Like you said, Lucid Air. It's a really nice looking car, and they're saying, if you look at the specs, it's just up there. 1,000 horsepower, I believe, and it's very, the interior is different, the luxury is different than what you see in the Tesla, but at the same time, it costs way more. It's and that's the other thing. When it comes to cost, we talked about last week. We talked about the Hummer EV, right? And then we also talked about the Cybertruck, right? The Cybertruck is much less expensive, even the starting price, and even when it's up fully loaded, it's really less expensive compared to the Hummer EV. And obviously you can have a small market car, but the companies, the manufacturers, they benefit when they have a mass market of vehicles. So how do you think the Cybertruck is going to do? You think it's going to actually show up on time this year? Because Tesla has had some history with meeting deadline.
Okay. Me not knowing, having any knowledge into this, I don't know. Actually, I would be stumped in answering this question.
What about you, Rishi? What's your thoughts?
Well, you're absolutely right. It has a reputation for delayed deliveries, but what I feel like there's a little bit of a strategy in this where they may start giving out on time. Say they promised 2021, they may start sending them out and seeing them on the ground, and people are driving them. But not every person who ordered would get within that time frame. So they can be contrary on the same topic, whether did all of them get it or did any get it.
Yeah, so what they did with the Model 3, because when they had the Model, they had the Model S, right? The Model X. And then when the Model 3 was getting released, Model 3 was, hey, this is the inexpensive Tesla. This is an inexpensive vehicle, electric vehicle. It's for everyone. It's the person that wants a sedan, a small sedan, mid $30,000 range, which is great. But the first people to receive the Model 3 was the people with the highest trim levels, which made sense, right? That's where the company probably makes the most money, and they want to get those out because that also makes the people feel a bit more exclusive. They're paying more money for the vehicle, right? And I think, yeah, when the Cybertruck comes out, it's going to be the same. It's going to be the three motor truck, and you'll see them slowly and surely on the road. It starts on the East Coast, West Coast, then to East Coast, and then you start seeing them in the other countries. What about the prototype for the Cybertruck? The prototype, very boxy, geometrical, all angles. It looks like someone just took a protractor took like right angles and just went at it, right? There's not one curve on that car. I mean, if they had a choice, they would make the wheels triangle, I swear. But physics is circle, right? So do you think others do you think the Cybertruck is going to be exactly how the prototype was, or do you think they're going to change it up a bit? And I think we talked about this, and it's I know you looked into it a little bit more, so I want to see if your mind has changed.
You know, it's a total like you mentioned, it's all geometric, it's all straight right angles, whatnot. I'd be fascinated if it does come out straight up like that. It would definitely get head turns, like I mentioned earlier in the podcast. But I think that they would probably make some changes in terms of aerodynamics. I'm not sure if that because I don't see how that would run well in the highway going at full speeds. But then again, I could be wrong. I don't know the physics. But those are my really basic thoughts on it.
Rishi, what do you think? Do you think the Tesla Cybertruck is going to come out exactly how it's shown in the prototype?
What I feel like is that what they've, knowing Elon Musk's his mindset, he probably has done a lot of research in making it so perfectly aerodynamic that the amount of battery that it has versus amount of miles it goes needs to be in a well-preserved ratio. So for him to conduct that, fulfill that promise that say my Cybertruck will go at 360 miles per charge, for him to do that, the prototype must match what the production turns out to be, or else his stock would then start dropping down to 178 like it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, you're right. So my opinion is I feel like it's not going to look like the prototype, just because it's when you look at the manufacturing sense, the more special shape of a vehicle you have, the more it actually costs more to make. And yeah, we're talking about triangles and squares here. How hard is it to make it? It's not. But putting those together compared to having like a curve shape meeting another curve shape, I just feel like in terms of manufacturing, I'll be surprised if Tesla could actually meet exactly the prototype shape. The headlights were a little bit different. Do they meet the high standards? The standards that the government has put out for vehicles. So, it's a pretty big vehicle that they've come out with. Especially, I like the shape of it. The one thing that I'm not a big fan of though is like the whole, how that whole slant on the back of the Cybertruck in the bed. I'm not a big fan of that. I like the traditional truck where you have the front end, which is usually the engine, and Tesla's not going to have that. But then you have the cab, right, where the people sit, and then it goes straight down and over. So you have like this box for your bed, and that box for the bed would really be useful if you could put something above that to make it into like a closed cab. I know Tesla would probably come out with a little accessory or something that you can probably make like a closed cab, but it'd probably be at a slant. Now with the Cybertruck, they also released during when they released it in public, the Cybertruck, they also came out with the Cyber Quad. Did you see that? The Cyber Quad, it's an ATV, right?
Yes.
Electrical ATV. Now we haven't really heard much of this. You think this would be coming out during the same time as a Cybertruck? Have you seen this? The Cyber Quad, Rishi?
I have. I've seen the prototype pictures and videos of it. And when you asked about its release date, I really doubt it. Their primary focus is mass production. I doubt they're going to get into toys at the moment.
That's true. Yeah. Now, I mean, you have the truck really brings in a different market, right? There's a separate market for trucks. They have the big SUV, they have the small SUV, they have the big sedan, the small sedan, and now they have a truck. Do you think they're gonna come out with any other type of variant for Teslas? Do you think they're gonna come out with like a Tesla minivan? You know, I mean, they have the X, but I mean, you know, something that people won't you know, sliding doors.
Oh, that would be interesting to see.
I mean, it reminds me of like the Mini Cooper, right? You have the Mini Cooper, and then you had the Mini Clubman, which was like a little extended version of that, right? And then you had the little convertible, which was a two-door, you know, looked like it was wearing a hat. Um, so then it's like, oh, are they gonna come out with a minivan? You know, probably not. And actually, they never did. You know, but it actually just they're meeting different demographics and different needs. It's just what are they missing? You know, do they have any other demographic that they're missing? You know, they're coming out with the Roadster. We haven't even talked about the Roadster yet. You know that's gonna be a hell of a vehicle. You know, it's you have you seen it? They sent a Roadster to space. You've seen that, right? Others.
No, I haven't.
You haven't?
No.
Okay. So the Elon Musk actually sent one of these to space with a little spaceman in the driver's seat.
Really?
Yeah. Rishi, you've heard about it?
Yeah, it's orbiting our planet right now.
And what do you think about the Roadster?
Well, the Roadster 2.0 is, to me, it's like a sister to the Acura NSX. You know, it looks the same. It's meant to be a fast sports car, but ran with electric power more than gas. That's, to be honest, the only difference. There's no luxury as it is in, say, X and Y, but it's meant to be a symbol of a leader car.
So do you think that Tesla will come out with a luxury car?
It should. And considering Lucid is on the verge of coming this spring, it should really come up with a luxury car that's got these recliner seats in the back, you know, and individual television screens, and like that's the luxury part. I'm not saying make a Rolls Royce, but
so you think Tesla's gonna come up with like a conversion van? You know, those little camper vans that actually that would be nice. You know, a Tesla conversion van, and you know what they can use? They can use the Tesla semi truck.
Right.
Right, and actually, Tesla's been doing a lot more. I've seen a bunch of videos on. They've been doing a lot more tests on their semi truck, and I read one of the comments. It was the Tesla was that semi truck with a full I don't know if it was loaded, but it had the trailer on the back, and it left the parking lot, and it ran. It just went 0 to 60 real quick, and it was like, wow, look at the power. But someone commented saying, I would be really scared to see that coming up in my rearview mirror that quick.
You know, I'd have to agree. A recreational vehicle, an RV, made with electric power would be amazing. Because when you're going to the nature with the RV, you might as well use the nature as a power rather than coal.
Yeah, I mean, actually, that's another good point because when let's say you go on the highway and you're taking a Tesla, you stop at a rest area, you put it into charge, and then you're kind of just waiting around. You're trying to kill time. If you have an RV and you bring it to a charging station, that place becomes like your trailer camp type of thing, you know.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see that in the future where you know, because trailer camps like RV camps have power hookups, right?
Yes.
So you just plug in your trailer, and you know you're not running the gasoline or anything. You're just running off the grid that the camp has. You would probably do the same with you know with an RV that's electric.
That's right. You know, since we're talking about the future, I'd like to add something here.
Go ahead.
I was wondering, you know, if we've got all the four-wheelers, closed-door vehicles. What about motorcycles? All the companies have liter bikes, 1,000 cc's, 1,300 cc's, say Hayabusa or R1s. What if Tesla came out with motorcycles?
Yeah, I think that'll be a real game changer. I mean, Harley Davidson did come out with the motorcycle, but when you think of Harley Davidson, you think of the noise, right?
Yeah.
So someone that's really like into this, I'm into Harley, I drive a Harley Davidson, and they really want that noise, they probably might not buy a Harley Davidson electric bike. And when someone thinks of electric anything, the first thing that comes into mind is Tesla. If Tesla probably comes out with a motorcycle that's electric, without even trying, I think they would hit the market pretty hard.
Absolutely. I'd be the one looking into it.
Yeah. What do you think, others?
I would be excited to definitely see what would they come up with. But I can't. For me, like you said, I'm not a Harley Davidson type of guy, like with the big choppers with handles that are like up above your head and you're just riding down the street. I'm more of the sports bike. Like, I like to hear that. I like to hear that exhaust go off. Like, so I don't know.
Like a Ducati.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I'm that type. But so if they're gonna do the electric, and if it's completely silent, I mean that may defeat my purposes. I'm just the type that I enjoy. I will feed off the sound. The louder the sound, not a chopper, but like you said, Ducati, that would definitely make me feel more happier.
We'll put in a nice stereo system in yours, and we'll record some Ducati noises and put on repeat for you. Actually, some cars have that. We'll probably discuss that at a later podcast. But some cars have that where the car has a 4-cylinder engine, and those are much quieter, like a 4-cylinder turbo. But the speakers make a little bit of noise, especially when you put like sport mode, so that way you feel like you have the sport. There's some cars, I think there's like a couple of BMWs that have that. There's I'm sure that we could probably find a list online, but
hey, Sergeant.
Yes. Go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off there. It's funny how you bring that up. I couldn't resist but to mention the fact, as if Adarsh, you remember 10 years ago, when we used to be in high school or junior high school area, we had these little used cars our parents would give us. And then we had we bought this little adapter that connects into your cigarette lighter, into your vehicle, and then it goes onto your speaker system to make noises according to how much acceleration you have on your car. So if you press the pedal down, it'll be like a loud roaring sound like a V8 engine. And if you let go, it'll be quiet. It's really cool.
And you do that in a Prius.
Windows down.
Windows down.
So now we brought Tesla down to Prius. Perfect.
Well, that actually, I used to do that. Put the little
transmitter.
Well, a little card.
Oh.
Cards on the bicycle.
Yeah.
I used to. That was me. And
I remember that.
My friends would be like, "What are you doing?" And I'm just like, I like it, and I put it in a way where if I felt a little bit too embarrassing, I would flip it the other way so it didn't make any noise. Well, Tesla has other products. The solar panels, the solar panels that they're going to come out with, that they're working on, or I think some of them they've already come out with it. It's just it's not as popular just because it's a little bit more expensive. It actually looks like tiles for the roof, so you can't really tell that it's there. But obviously something that aesthetic and to meet that type of every house is different, so you have to meet that type of code and everything. It is a bit expensive, and they have their charger, the home chargers, the fast chargers, and all that. On the highways you see charging stations. That's all Tesla. Tesla's growing. It's they haven't been in the game that long, and they're up there. You guys want to add anything to that?
We're talking about side products that Tesla's created. Recently, I came across the Powerwall that Tesla created. It's like a generator that is adherent to the side of your wall. It takes in power from your grid, charges up enough to run your house for more than 24 hours, if in case your power surges. I think that's a pretty cool type of a generator.
Yeah, no, I think that's cool. It's like a little backup. If you lose power. But anyway, I want to wrap this up. Thank you everyone for listening. Let us know what you think about Tesla. Is Tesla still going to grow? Is it going to hit a plateau? Is it going to drop? Or is Tesla going to come out with more stuff that's different than what they already have? I know Elon Musk is all part of that, separate from SpaceX. How is Tesla going to keep moving forward to kind of stay up there in terms of the market value and in terms of innovation? Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate you listening.